Doy. Boom. We're here. Where's Mr. Titan? We got to unmute Mr. Titan. There we are. How's it going? This is Faz Radio time with Mr. Titan and Mr. Forged in Crypto. What the hell are you doing, Mr. Forged in Crypto?
I thought he was loading up a water bong.
Close. I was putting a sticker on the bottom of this. It's advertising.
Yes.
Jonesy art.
Jonesy art. Oh, this doesn't fit quite right.
So, if you were smart, you would have put Jonesy art behind you as your green screen thing.
Yeah, I did that before. I'll do it. I'm gonna switch him out here and there. You know, that kind of stuff. It's not like he's really excited for me to do things. He doesn't pay me or anything. I just like the guy, so I just throw
right. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Good stuff.
I have to pay Faz to be on this show.
I know, and then Faz goes along and pays people. And what do you pay him in? Like
Pizza.
Little,
Pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Pizza.
But it was stickers too. You were paying stickers first, so pizza's an upgrade.
Well,
that's true. That's
actually,
very true.
I think we should go have pizza tomorrow. It's a good idea.
Ankeny? We're going to Ankeny again?
I don't know.
Only place to go.
I got a flat tire when I went there the last time. Why should I do that?
Now you have real tires, though. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I got real tires.
You got real ones.
Those ones from the dealership are like half plastic, half rubber.
Oh, I'm telling you, they're the worst. They're the absolute worst.
Apparently, somebody else who went to the pizza place had 2 flat tires. There must be.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when I told them about my flat, they're like, "Really? Some guy just yesterday had 2 flat tires." And I was like, "Is it on the same side of the car?" "Yeah, it is." "Okay, well, there's something on the side of the road somewhere."
Either that or neither one of you know how to drive.
Apparently.
I go with the latter.
I've done it several times in my life where I pull up into this like the curb and you hit the curb too hard and it slices the sidewall of your tire. That is so annoying. You can't even get it fixed. You got to buy 2 new tires.
Not with my new tires. They have superpower sidewall protection.
Oh man!
Wow.
I was out hunting this last October and we were heading down off the hill. And I got a flat tire, and I was like, "Oh, great!" So we changed the tire out, go into the local town, and Les Schwab is the tire place here. So we go in there, and they're like, "Well, we don't have a replacement for your tire." Like, I'm like, "Well, I need all 4 new tires anyway. Just give me 4 new tires." They're like, "Well, we don't have anything that's gonna fit you." Well, let's patch it. And I'm like, "Okay, fine, patch it." He comes out, he's like, "Oh, it's all patched." He's like, "That was a really big hole in your tire." It's like, normally I don't patch those, but you'll be fine. I'm like,
normally I don't patch those.
I'm like 7 hours away from my house. I'm still got like another 5 days out here where I'm going to be hunting. Like, really? He's like, yeah, just keep an eye on it. You'll be okay. I was like,
keep an eye. When it's flat, you know that there's a problem.
Exactly.
So what was neat about when I got my tire, when my tire went flat, well, not neat, but I didn't know about it. Well, the truck seemed to drive really well even on a flat, but I got an email or text message from the car telling me that it was flat. It was really weird. For some reason, the car wasn't telling me it was flat because the computer crashed when it went flat. So then I like rebooted the computer while I was driving and then sent out a text message. It was really weird.
So what you got to do is get one of those refrigerators that tells you when you're out of milk. They have lasers now in these refrigerators. You put your milk in there, and when it gets down, it detects how long you drink your milk, and it'll tell you if it's expiring or if it's too low. It'll send you a text to your phone.
Is it by weight?
It could be by weight.
Well,
I don't know.
Laser,
It reads
if it's a
the
laser
level or something. I don't know.
If it's a laser, then it's analyzing.
It's like stupid how ridiculous. You got to spend $3,000 on a refrigerator just because you want smart capabilities.
Well, maybe if you'd stop letting the milk go rancid in your fridge, you wouldn't have to do that.
Well, it doesn't go, and not in mine. My kids love milk. Oh my God, they drink. If you put 5 gallons of milk in there, they drink it all and beg for more. They used to be that way with apple juice. Now it's milk.
Oh, milk's better.
So what are we talking about today? I see do not look at new gaming platforms is the catchphrase here.
That's the clickbait.
Clickbaity.
Sucker them in.
Okay.
We're always looking for new gaming platforms. So
Well, that's the beauty of it. Yeah.
So are you warning people away from just a new gaming platform in general?
Well,
not my
no. So do not look at them. Become part of them.
Oh, there you go.
That is the mantra I'm going with. So
I'm part of them.
thanks to Nate here, we have all become quite well versed, and he kind of helped rip us out of being laser focused on Gala because we were so focused on them. We didn't know like all these other things were out there so much and where the industry really was. And with Blake and with Nate taking us on these adventures all the time, it's fantastic to see what some of these other platforms are doing, how the whole space as a whole is growing. And we're learning a ton more than by just being in that little echo chamber that was Gala. So this is huge for us. I circled back. We'll see what Betty thinks about it when he comes back. I was going through my coin stats. We were talking in the green room. I went through my coin stats and I started bumping into all these little $2 and $3 and $4 and $500 token buys that I made like forever ago. And I bumped into a gaming platform that I had put some money into. I'm pretty sure it was probably close to a year ago.
Black Hole Galaxy? Black Eye Galaxy?
Yeah, Black Eye Galaxy took a huge shit. And Faz will never let me live that one down.
Turned into Brown Star Galaxy.
Oh my God. So, well, no, this was fantastic. These people had gaming experience. They were building a space game. You could actually transact and send people out on
It basically
missions.
fit all of Titan's strict criteria for things to invest in.
Well,
And here I'm investing in the
it
things
looked
that he
great.
won't.
Because this is like Echoes of Empire had just been announced when we were looking at this, so of course we were interested. So about 4 months goes by, and all of a sudden they're gone, just gone. And they apparently people tracked them down. They rugged it hard, and they went and opened up a new platform. And when they got busted on it, they said, "Oh, we structured the contract wrong, and it would have failed. So we just decided to come over here." And they're like, people are like, "All right, but you didn't tell anybody you were doing that.
We just
And why
decided
do
to
you have a
rug the
different-"
project.
Well, and the one guy's like, "Why do you have a different name on this platform?" And I'm
Why
like,
is your
"Oh
name
my
Jim
God."
instead of Joe?
So, well, but no, this other one, taking Nate's advice, he said it a couple of times that in crypto winter, you watch the companies that continue to survive and to grow. And so I poked this gaming platform up, and it's in a better place than it was 6 months ago. So I shot that over to them, and they're going to look into it as well. I've liked it the entire time, so we'll see what happens.
I think we got one of our infographics coming out soon on it. So
Nice.
that'll be the first one. So everything that you see when we present it, like through your site or my site or through Twitter or whatever, the infographics that come out on the back end, we're using Gitbook, and our Gitbooks are freaking huge because we're just organizing it for our information of how we want to analyze these different companies, these different games, these different protocols, whatever we're looking into. So the infographic is just what most people want. They want just a quick hit. What are you looking at? Yes or no, positives, negatives. What do you see? And then as it goes, if people want to get deeper into it, then they'll be able to come into soon to be the Forge and Crypto website, but they can come into the Discord right now and then get into the Gitbooks and be able to kind of go on a deep dive. Like if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, you got some rabbit hole.
So I love the infographics, but here's the only problem. No matter how I try and I have to download it and then pull it a certain way, they're too small. You've got to host like a bigger file size of it so you can zoom in and see it easier than right now is my only feedback. The content is fantastic.
Well, you can't zoom in on your side?
No, so like if I download it and I double click it to open the picture, I got to click zoom like 4 times in order to be able to read it.
Oh. I'll have to work on that. Suggestions are welcome.
Yes, but the infographic is laid out fantastic in the standard format. I know where to look for the things I want to see. It gives you a good snapshot of what that is. I love those things. I love them.
All right, so
Nice.
let's get to those games, shall we?
Well, I think the do you have it
It's
up?
more of a platform, yeah. So you found a pretty good one. I was pretty impressed when I poked around at this one last
This
night.
this was Blake found this one. So this is all Blake who found it, and we literally, when I sent it over to you, we had just started diving into it, so it's brand new to us too. It's interesting. I mean, it's an interesting platform. It's got a lot of games on it that I heard about that I didn't even know were on there. We had games that we were looking into last summer, beginning of the summer, that are on this platform, like Undead Blocks, right? So, and this platform wasn't around at that time. So Undead Blocks got put onto this platform. I know there's probably a lot of people that was a more popular one that I'm sure some people that have been around the blockchain gaming side have seen it. So Cyber Titans, that's been around for a little while. So, I mean, again, this is kind of a Steam for blockchain gaming, right? It's where these games can come and get access to people to come and download them and play them. So
We found one of those a while back, and we tried to get them on the podcast, and they were tough. It was that Rainmaker Games. They refused to do live. They refused to do a talk without pre-screened questions and all that stuff. So we walked away. I looked at them not too long ago, and they're no further along. They're still there, but they're still no further along than
Oh,
they were.
you made a big stink about Rainmaker Games.
They were bringing the fire for a while.
We might have
And then
even have had some predictions about it.
they stopped. They just like hit like a wall or something, and they haven't done very much since. And it's been like 9 months. And because it was spring, I think it was last spring that I was trying to get them on the show, and they were so busy, too busy. We can't do this, and yada yada. But the other one that's made progress is Myst, not MYST, not that game, but it's a different. It's called MIST, and it's Myst.game, and they started out with like a what do you call it, 8-bit. It started out as 8-bit, and there was a play test, and it showed progress, and it showed a little bit of progress, and now they are getting ready to. They're doing testing now, where you apply to get into the game, and it looks 100 times better. They're making some pretty steady progress too. You and I picked up some
Pretty
Myst
good.
tokens.
Yeah, we did on Vitru.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I haven't looked at the Mist one. Looks interesting. So it's the Mist. This is something that Blake brought up, and I was like, we were talking about it. It's something that we've actually talked about quite a bit. Is every game it's the meta something. It's the block something. It's they keep using the same pre-terms for all these different blockchain games, and they need to go away from it. I think, like, if you're trying to get your Web 2 gamers into it, stop calling it them, meta run, or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah, they got to get rid of that meta stuff. They bank it because of the Facebook fame and because of the Sandbox fame.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking right now, Meta Gates, Cyber Titans, Meta Mars, like that's the Kiraverse, the Ectoverse. These are just right on. This is on Elixir app, right on the front page. So it's like those are just the ones that are scrolling across. The Runeverse.
Is that .io or .com?
It's a .app actually. Elixir .app.
That's right. I was giving it to our producer so she can put it up for us in a window.
Yeah, the whole metaverse, like putting that in every single one, is getting a little overused. It's kind of the same thing when we were talking about crypto, where I try to not use crypto all the time when I'm talking about this ecosystem, because it has such a bad connotation. So I try to use Web3 or blockchain gaming and that kind of stuff, just when I'm talking to normies, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I still get triggered with the Web3 thing. that guy, who is that? That classy crypto guy.
Oh.
I'm riding to work today, and
On your bike,
Twitter-
like a pedal bike, you're actually riding your pedal bike?
no,
Trundling his little bike.
in my little rattle trap.
Do you have a rickshaw?
No, I don't. It's kind of like a rickshaw. I love this car, man. It's a little Pontiac Vibe, and it's basically a Toyota with a GM sticker on it, right? And this thing is a 2008. It has 200,000 miles, and the thing gets me 35 miles to the gallon and runs like a champ, not a spot of rust on it. But I'm riding, and the first thing I see on Twitter is him saying, with this Web3 going the way it is anybody thinking about Web 4? And I felt my blood boil. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Nobody's even gotten a Web3 game to stand up yet, a true Web3 game to stand up. And you're already talking Web 4. I mean, this is like stupid. People are pushing this so fast. That's probably why everybody's dropping the ball. Slow down and make something first.
Yeah, nobody's got anything right now.
Titan doesn't want to tell you that in a previous cast, maybe about a month ago, he himself referred to Web 4 and Web 5 like it was a thing, and now he's trying to play the whole opposite side. I gave him so much shit in that cast.
No, I said there's going to be a Web 4 and a Web 5, and it's going to be way better than Web 3. But my point on this topic is that people haven't even the most genius people out there, the best gaming platform on the planet, whoever that may be, still hasn't stood up a truly Web 3 game. And people are already talking about Web 4 and Web 5.
If I recall from that cast that we talked about this, I then asked you to define what Web 3 was, and then we started having problems. Because you came up with this huge definition. I came up with one much simpler. You said that I was being too technical. Yeah.
No, well, you started... see, when liberals start losing the argument, they want proof. And so I had to go dig up proof.
Well, you know reality is liberal, right?
So, the
difference between evidence and proof.
To describe Web 3 is it's trustless and permissionless. That's what Web 3 is. And there's not a gaming platform out there right now that is trustless and permissionless. So, no, it's not Web 3. It is blockchain gaming.
Do you ever think there's going to be a game that is truly Web 3?
I think they're going to try, and they're going to get pretty darn close. Faz did bring me back off of my pedestal and brought me down to about 90% Web 3. Trustless and permissionless.
I believe if I recall what I said was there's still, when I started developing, it was, in Web 1.0, and then we were switching to Web 2.0. And Web 2.0 really was just adding security, like HTTPS and security to your website. Web 3 is, in my opinion, a collection of technologies that are still working themselves out. However, anybody grabbing one of those technologies can just say that they're Web 3. Like, hey, we interface with a wallet. We're Web 3. Well, they're not exactly wrong, because if everybody winds up saying that, then that becomes the definition. And so right now, the definition of Web 3 is still kind of in flux. Web 4 might be what if we were to use
what
Titan's
we're
word,
thinking Web 3 is, yeah.
Might be what we really want Web 3 to be. I mean, it's like you see things in a store, like this item is sugar free, or this item is organic, and the definition gets so watered down that it doesn't really mean anything anymore.
So here's the thing, to circle back and answer you a little bit clearer. Web 4, in my mind at least, at this juncture, would be mostly 90% decentralized, 90% trustless, permissionless, and it will be managed by AI. So there will be applications of AI that will be the central authority. So to me, that is kind of where I think it's going.
Where Web 3 is going, or Web 4? Sorry, I missed.
Web 4 would be. I think they build the foundation and the framework for Web 4 by using Web 3. And then once they get that stable with mostly permissionless, mostly trustless, they'll bring in the AI to be that central authority instead. And that will kind of gravitate it and morph it into that Web 4 and what we think Web 3 really ought to be.
It's interesting. I personally don't think we've seen anything that's actually Web 3 yet either. What I would consider Web 3.
Right.
And I don't think games actually, the majority of games out there, there's going to be very few, if they actually do, will be fully permissionless type of games, because you're always going to have the programmer of that game, the developer of that game, trying to get rid of bots, get rid of cheaters and everything else like that. And then maybe AI at some point in time will be able to do most of that, but that's still a central authority that's going to be taking care of that situation and not the actual protocol of the game itself. So,
yeah, and Faz and I have talked about that side of it too, right? Because if you have, let's say, a third party that's independent of the game company and the game developer, that is that
what
has
are you
the
doing?
keys.
What are you doing again?
Um,
Jesus, get on it. Okay, why don't you explain what that squishy noise is that you're making there? Because
It's my vape juice.
all right, okay, Joe, I'm just making sure. Right? Make
So-
sure you weren't doing a Jeffrey Tubin kind of moment.
No, so I really do think if you have that third party independent group that has keys, I would consider that decentralized. So if, using our favorite example, if Gala were to produce the game and create how they want it to run, and then turned the keys, so to speak, over to a independent third party that would use a governance model from the nodes to vote on what patches would go next. The developer then hands those patches to that independent third party who implements them, and you're able to choose and fork for yourself those games and choose what patches and what versions you want to play. That I would agree with Faz for the first time in 30 years and say that's decentralized enough for me.
Okay, then is any coin decentralized to your satisfaction?
That's a double question.
No. The point that I'm getting at is what you're really doing is you're trying to make a definition yourself based upon some words due to an interpretation. So when you talk about having a decentralized game, one would think that maybe it's something like Bitcoin, where some people have the nodes, some people have the miners, and they can't be controlled. But Bitcoin stops becoming decentralized once you get 51% of the people becoming miners.
Well, but here's the thing, right? So if we'll use our favorite example in Gala, if the game is put out and a group of players, let's say Timbo's group in the Mafia, doesn't want to deal with that stupid fucking honor system, they could say, fuck you, and pull the game itself out without the honor system and set up their own set of nodes to run whatever version they wanted to run. And the people who wanted the honor system could do it over on their own set of nodes. That would satisfy me for decentralized, because it's the people who run the game, the nodes and the governance model. That to me is as far decentralized as we can go at this point.
So you're saying then that Web3 has to be decentralized in order to be Web3?
We're not talking Web3 and decentralization are two different things. They're not the same. And that's where a lot of people go wrong with this. They talk about Web3 as though it means decentralized.
Oh, I'm just trying to catch up with what your definition of Web3 is then.
Web3, I'll say it for the third time on this cast, for you. I'll say it slower this time. Trustless and permissionless. That's what pure Web3 is.
Okay, so wait.
Decentralized.
Wait. Let's go with
different.
let's go with trustless and permissionless, because if you
Mm-hmm.
just have a Web3 login like OpenSea where you're using MetaMask, there you have trustless and permissionless. So what's the problem?
You have mostly trustless and mostly permissionless.
Where's
that
the part?
does not make the platform that you're logging into
I didn't say that.
Web3.
Actually, I didn't say that the platform itself was Web3. I was just talking about the
Just
the
the
login.
wallet.
Just the
wallet
login. No, the
is.
login. The login.
Well,
yeah, it is.
Well, no, because as soon as you go through the login
maybe you should
wall,
speak this. Maybe you should speak even slower this next time and define what you're talking about.
You're being dumped then into a dashboard that is not Web3.
What they have done on OpenSea is say, hey, we don't want to store your login information, so what we're going to do is say, connect to us in a trustless and permissionless way, and then we'll assume that you are you. Bam! You use MetaMask, which is something they don't control, and you have exactly what Mr. Titan just called Web3. So what am I getting wrong? Yeah, that's how Titan loses arguments right now. Notice he had to tell me 3 times, and then
Yeah, you're slow. I get it.
yeah. Well, I see that you finally don't have a comeback for that one either.
I do have a comeback. I already told you. Once you crack the wall of login, you are back to a non-Web3 environment.
That's how Web 2 works, motherfucker!
Right, so it's Web 2. It's not
No.
Web 3.
Web 2 is about applying security to your website at all. You can use the security just for the login. Okay, once you leave the login, you don't need security. In fact, you don't need it for various parts of the screen. You could have it just for one part or something like that. So that's what I'm talking about. Web 2 has just the login as security. Web 3, if it's just the login, that's trustless and permissionless. Great, you got fucking Web 3. What the fuck?
Web 3-ish, maybe.
No, it sounds like you're adding a bunch of things to trustless and permissionless all of a sudden.
I'm not.
No, you're not going to have a blockchain act as a fucking web server and start serving web pages up to you. It's just going to act as the authentication. That's all it's for. That's all blockchain is for. Trustless and permissionless.
Then why are you buying nodes to put games on if it's just for
why is
security?
why is the sky blue if you just drank some water? What the fuck? I mean, say something that actually makes sense. Okay. So you lost your argument.
Blood pressure up.
You lost your argument.
I wanted to call it a Titan tantrum, but it wasn't Titan with the tantrum just because it sounds good, but it was a Faz tantrum. Like,
no, I can't tell if he's gaslighting or just full of shit or something. He's both trying to say and unsay something at the same time. Now, I admit that I do have problems when people like throw non sequiturs all over the fucking place. So you literally told me to what Web3 was. I gave you an example, and then you're like, no, that wasn't enough.
I think the real problem is we're the argument's coming onto something that is actually not really definable in all actuality. When you think of Web3 itself, it's just a nomenclature out there for something that it's arbitrary for each person.
It could be a marketing term, which is what I started out as saying. It's I don't think Web3 has been fully defined. It's whatever people are going to call it.
And so Titan has a definition of his Web3. You have a definition of your Web3. There is no...
The person who's going to win is the person who has the most money that runs a site that they call Web3.
Or the guy that has control over the mute button. One way or the other.
All right.
Too funny.
So
this argument.
back to Elixir. Walk us through this. Let's have a look here.
We're walking through it at the same time. Like we barely
Yeah.
got into it. We were doing a bunch of stuff, so we just brought it out. I mean,
all right. So we have a launch app button. So that's a DApp, I'm assuming.
yeah. So you'll
That,
download it for Windows. I think they have it for Mac and for let's see here, and Linux, and you can download it for Linux.
Nice.
So it's an app, and then these games will run off that app, which I think is great for these games. Oh, look, there's Metastrike. But it's just a launch pad for these games to go to, and that's what you're going to see. It says it right there on there. It says Steam for Web3. That's exactly what it is. So it's just these games being able to come on here and have a place for people to download and play these games.
Now, does Elixir have a token?
Nope. They don't have anything yet.
Interesting.
Yeah. Nothing yet. I don't think. From what I understand, that they're going to bring in more of some tokenomics potentially, but much like what we're doing at NerdNode is we're not positioning ourselves to have a token right off the bat. Like we're going to set things up, and then down the road, as things become more clear, potentially have a token that will benefit node owners that are running the NerdNode nodes out there.
Have you planned out this token yet, or just have some ideas?
We have. I mean, it's in its very infancy phase, so we do have some ideas. Brought in a couple different people that I'm really interested to have explore these ideas with us. One of them might be listening to this podcast. I don't want to put his name out there yet, but very knowledgeable in the blockchain ecosphere, nodes, that kind of stuff, along with Andrew with us at NerdNode already. And then we have Ben, who's a super smart guy, understands. He's actually ran down the route of blockchain and tokenizing green energy a long time ago. So with solar panels and stuff. So we have a group that will be able to run down some tokenomics ideas and put something out there, but we want to make sure that it's a right fit for an actual token if there is one that is going to be needed, right? I don't want to just make a token to make a token. I can do that now, and it's just like a Nate token, right? So there has to be a need for it, right? I don't want to add to the 25,000 tokens that are out there just to be another damn token. So, and I think that's when I was reading a little bit about who they are and what they're doing, there's a potential for that. But they want to see what that would be as this ecosystem grows. So, and I think we see that with a lot of things that are coming about, that they're not just, throwing the token out there yet. They have the idea for it. It's there. It's a possibility. But they want to have the product first, right? You don't have to have a token to have a product in there. It doesn't. Sometimes it's the chicken before the egg, or the egg before the chicken, however it goes. So.
What?
Eggs.
So if you could scroll down a bit, I do want to focus on this because it sounded like to me down a little bit
That's not
further. Me. It looks like it's kind of like doing what the Mafia and Timbo are putting together, where they're going to have a guildish kind of platform for results and such.
Do we want to look around this website by any chance?
Yeah, scroll. Who's running it? Who's got that? Is that the producer? Scroll down that bad boy. Go into there's a bunch of different things that you can look into there. There we go.
Boy, we have a lot of comments here too.
Yes, we do.
We get to those later during our comments part.
Well, it's all about your Web3 tantrum.
That's how it works, man.
I know. Yell into the microphone. Web3. We're going to Web7 tomorrow.
People like to hear conflict.
Where did I see that on there?
Go to
integrations. Wasn't it maybe
under blog? I think it's under the blog when they talk about a lot of the stuff that they're looking to implement.
So I think platforms like this are probably going to be a very good entry point for a lot of the traditional gamers. It's fast, it's light, it offers minimal crypto knowledge right off the bat, and it gives you a good experience from minute one.
Exactly. This is something we talked about, again, with Gala Games. I didn't want to bring it up, but from the very get-go, they needed a damn launcher for their games that was simple like this, to bring there, not to come in and log in and create a wallet and all this shit. Just go in, download the launcher, and pick out a game to play. You like the game? Great, play it. Don't like that one? Try the next one. This one looks cool. I'll try that game out. I mean, that's what we do anyway as gamers. We go in and we try different games out. It seemed very simple at the time, and we're seeing a lot of this. The thing that I'm looking at as being very, very excited about the blockchain gaming ecosystem is it's going to get watered down, and I don't think it's a bad thing for the ecosystem because there's going to be so many games, so many different launchers, that are going to come out and be a part of the ecosystem to help it grow. But the people that are relying on it for investments, it's going to be really tough, because what are you going to put your money in, right? What's that company or what's that game that's really going to take off? And it's going to be one game out of 1,000, out of 10,000 that come out that's really going to take off, right? And it's going to be a tough one to really kind of capture. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, find the ones that are looking really good and have a good team behind them, and, are able to put something good out, hopefully. So
Let's hope.
Let's hope. Well, one of the things, and this will kind of roll into the LooksRare side too, is, with these NFT blockchain games, you need a marketplace, right? Like, all the NFT marketplaces are the same. Like, there's a few that are out there that are actually different. There's a couple, and I have to remember. I'll look it up here, see if I can find it. You'd have to, for games, I think it has to be completely different. All these were built off of, PFP type of NFTs, and it's a picture, right? Great. Ooh, you got a cool picture. Oh, yeah, I'm going to trade it. I'm going to flip it. Well, gamers don't give a shit. They're not going to go in to flip it. They want something different. Why am I going to buy that, weapon? What's that weapon doing for me? Is it just a skin? Does it give me more power? Does it have better aim? Is the stability better? Whatever. Can I use it? Can I test it out? And these NFT marketplaces need to have that integration within them, so you can go right into the game, try that weapon out. Is that something you want to buy? Great, then buy it, and have that fully built into that marketplace. Be able to go right into the game and download that game. Have Elixir Games should have its own marketplace that goes with it, with all these games, to be able to do that same thing and test it out in that game. Fully immerse yourself in it and be able to look at the different features that are going to go there, not just what we have right now, which is PFP flipping. And that's all these marketplaces are for.
Well, I mean, having that platform where you can jump in and go is exactly what NerdNode does for your nodes. Go to the website. You have 3 little menu options up top: home screen, log in, and sign up. Sign up, it's a breeze. Takes maybe 45 seconds tops. You get signed up, you let them know what nodes you have, you make an appointment to get that taken care of, you provide them an API key, DUN done. They will run it from there, and they offer a guarantee. If it goes down and it's NerdNode's fault, they're going to take care of your tokens. When you go to this interface, you don't have to mess around. Straight in, straight to business. If there's a problem, you DM Nate, he takes care of it for you. Go to NerdNode, get those nodes up there, because I'm telling you, you're going to regret it if you miss a day's distribution.
Good job, Titan. That was
Good
great.
job, Titan.
The one thing I want to make clear is, because I've had a couple people ask me this, is like, so what else do I have to do? I give you my API. Do I have to make sure it runs right? And you said it, but no, literally, you don't have to do anything. You give the API, we run it. If it goes down for whatever reason, like if Gala punches it off, or we're switching over servers and you get a little email that says it's down, you know that we are getting an alert too. We're up there. We're making sure that it's going to go back up. We have scripts written. We have people on staff that are making sure things are going.
And I've actually been dog fooding Derd. I've been dog fooding NerdNode.
Nerd fooding dog node.
Yeah, I like that.
Dog fooding NerdNode, and I noticed the same thing. Sometimes I actually have gotten some messages that tells me it's down, but I still get the coins awarded to me. Is that something we need to leave on or turn it off? Or
you can turn it off. I mean, I leave mine, my personal one on, because I just alert Andrew, and just so I have it there, like, hey, my nodes are down. He'll be like, yep, I'm doing. We need to work on our internal, I guess, messaging to all of our customers saying, hey, guess what? We're going to be changing over servers, or we're updating servers because a lot of times that's when people will get alerts, is if we're doing it as well, knowing that we've either backed them up and put them on a different server, but they go down for a second and you're going to get that email as soon as it does. So that's something that we're working on internally for, just alerting people. But I mean, that's why we do have the guarantee in there as well. So if it is our fault, we're going to replace that. So, which I do have a whole bunch of, not a whole bunch, actually I have 4 that are going out tomorrow from the V3 changeover. So we had 3 people or 4 people. I can't remember. I got to look it up. That I got to pay out tomorrow. So, but that was a hard one. That was a hard one. They had so Gala, so they changed their interface in the back end, so we can't see. We can see our end. It's saying it's up, but then we couldn't double check with Gala's end to make sure that it was up. There was a weird thing with the Docker stuff. So, but we got that all fixed.
Now this stuff, this Nerd Node stuff, this approved by Gala Games, right? Or at least they know about it.
Oh yeah, we're on their site now. So needs to be a little bit more. They have us with all the VPSs because we're different than just a virtual server when we actually run it. So, but we're on the site. So
nice,
approved.
Are you ready to move on, Mr. Titan?
Yeah. So getting into the easy platform, everybody takes the easy road and goes to OpenSea for most of their sales. Well, OpenSea is not the only one on the market. Get it? Market?
You're not a comedian.
Damn it. I'm not a podcaster either, but I still do this. So we check in every so often with some of these other platforms. And to me, most of them are still a little bit sketch. The one that has been around the longest and gets the most looks is LooksRare. And so we decided to take a peekity peek back into that. A lot of people have been mentioning that in CFA and even some on Gala lately. It's an alternative, and it can be cheaper. Do we have a LooksRare window up? Because I know it looks different than
looksrare.org.
Yeah.
So what is it? Looksrare.io?
.org. O-R-G.
Org. Okay.
Org.
Yeah, so LooksRare is one that I was excited about from the get-go when they first, because they did an airdrop. So what they did is they took all people that did transactions through OpenSea, which you could get through the Ethereum blockchain, and they did an airdrop to everybody, and they gave a time frame where they could claim their looks for all people that did any kind of transaction through OpenSea. I think it was any kind. Either way, that's how they got their airdrop. And so they airdropped these looks tokens to those holders, and they had a certain time frame to get their looks, and then they could stake them. And in the beginning, it was insane. So in the beginning, it was it was 100% fishy and just straight swaps. Like you could tell that people were wash trading just to get the rewards that you were getting from looks. And when you were staking it and stuff like that, you were getting, 1,000% APY in the beginning. And we dove into their white paper, and a lot of people called it a scam and everything else. But what they did is they released their white paper and everything else way ahead of time on 100% what was going to happen. So you could see that there was a lot of wash trading with these PFPs on the Looks website, because you get buyers and sellers get a portion of the fees that go through. And so it was kind of a debacle in the beginning, but really ever since then, after that first month, and even they decreased the amount of emissions of looks after that. They cut it in half for the next 3 months, and then they cut it in half again for the next, I think, 6 months after that. And then now the most recent one was it was a 12-month, so they cut it in half. So right now I think it's 26. If you go up to the rewards section and click on the rewards side, you can see it's at 26% APY right now if you stake your looks. And I think they put out on Twitter a while back, it was 84% of all looks were being staked at the moment in time. Right now,
wow, that's huge participation.
Right, it's a lot. And why not? If you like the platform and you like looks, why not stake it for 26%? And you're getting 26% of looks on an APY basis, so it gets sent to you that way. And they have it. You can compound it in there, auto compounding and whatnot. It'll probably get shut down here soon because if you're in the U.S., you have to You can't stake things. Who knows?
Well, that's kind of interesting because I thought the Looks Rare stuff wasn't done through the site, but just manually, right?
What do you mean manually? What was done
The
manually?
Looks Rare staking. I had some looks that I staked. I had to go and like approve some
Yep.
things on MetaMask.
Yep.
So it's not like it was the same thing as Kraken staking.
Yeah, I mean Kraken, they are running protocols like the ETH. They're running ETH validators, and people that give them ETH to stake it, they're putting them in ETH validators and then sharing in the distribution with those people. This is different. Yes, you are basically just running it through, much like if you were going to do any kind of like DeFi type of situation, running it through, their protocol there, and not a third party like Kraken. So
if there's anything you want to look at in Looks Rare,
well,
Rare,
this is the holdup, right? Like a lot of people are upset because when you look at like Townstar NFTs, they don't even show up half the time, right?
Well, and there, like I said at the beginning too, getting the creators validated was a problem. So you had this like sketchy back part where you couldn't tell if the creator was actually the creator or if you were getting scammed.
Well, they
Do
have
they
verified,
still have that?
They have verified collections just like OpenSea. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but they didn't at first. I remember that.
Oh, they were. Again, they launched. It basically was a copy paste of OpenSea, right? And as much as everybody wants to hate on OpenSea, they actually had a product that was working, to be able to kind of verify stuff. And even OpenSea messes up stuff a lot. But over time, they've done really well. Like I'm looking at it now, Townstar's verified. And all the things are showing up on there. That's under the Townstar little logo deal, which
Nice.
has a bunch of like Miranda stuff in there too, which is weird.
but the zip bugs still aren't verified, and I applied like almost 2 years ago.
So, and I don't understand. Is it all volume based, or how do you get? I don't even know how you get verified on.
At first, when I applied, they verified everybody who submitted, and then after I did, about a month or so later, then they're like, "Well, we'll pick and choose the projects." And then after a while, like several months later, then they're like, "Well, we're getting so many people requesting verifications that we'll just kind of get to you whenever." And then after that, they just stopped talking about it. So it's the verification thing. I think really has a lot to do with how much money you have, how big your collections are, because it would seem to me that Townstar, Mirandus, all that stuff, those are big collections that somehow benefit OpenSea. So
Oh, well, of course they do. The big collections because they're getting more volume and they're getting more fees, right? So they
Right.
want to have those verified and get more people going through them. So they don't want to waste their time on somebody that has 0.5 ETH in transactions. That's not worth their time, right? There's got to be, when we talk about Web3, there's got to be a way to somehow automate the validation in a way that would be fair across the board. I don't know how that would work, but I haven't thought about it too much. So
I think as far as Web3 technologies, it reminds me a lot of like email, like when it first, well, in the very early 90s, where you actually had to go through someone to get email, and then it became very obvious that if you had your own email, that it was impossible to verify. And even to this day, email is still hard to verify. It's like they never really completed the whole concept. And I kind of feel like Web3 is always going to be open in a way to where they're never going to complete the concept.
yeah, I can see that too, for sure.
Well, if you have $8, you can get a check mark on Twitter.
Done. I did that.
So is Faz Radio. Faz Radio has a blue check mark.
It's $8
You're
a month.
validated.
Isn't it a month?
Yeah, it's a month.
Yeah, it's a month.
Steep. Yeah,
But you get priority responses. Your stuff goes to the top. You get seen more, and you get commercials at half the size and half the amount.
What's it mean when you get seen more when half the fucking site gets seen more?
That's called marketing.
It's like McDonald's putting half their menu up in big letters in the front. After a while,
No.
it just kind of all blurs together.
Well, it's because there's so many users, right? I think they can really withstand that claim because there's 400 million people on Twitter. They say it goes to the front. They can do these groups of 10,000 people out of the 400 million, And yes, you are being put in front of a group of 10,000 people. Now, is it the 10,000 people you probably want? I mean, who knows? But
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how those algos work. I think Twitter is far better under Elon than it was under those other idiots that were trying to
I've had a
make
much
it
better
work.
experience. I only want to say one more thing about Lookfrare. The one thing that drew me to it and why I liked it was them sharing in the fees that were a part of the platform, and they were sharing them with the buyers and the sellers and the stakers of looks on their platform. And they've been doing, and then for the last year, they've been doing a lot of updates. So, and they have a lot of things coming out. I like their platform. I like what they're trying to do. I think they'll do well. I really want to see some more integration with utility of NFTs, not just gaming, but other NFTs that may have utility. Hell, what if you're running a house rental program that's based on NFTs, right? Same type of situation. You can I look at that house? What does it look like on the inside? Can it immerse me in the experience, right? And don't just make it a very simple Web 2 website. So,
Yeah, having that ancillary set of utilities, right? So they could work. This would be a great way too to start the KYC or validation program if you get certified in a certain way by holding this NFT. They could start that KYC and that verification program through something like this.
yeah,
I thought that would be a good idea too, because you have your special friends, right? Or like the group, right? Like us sitting right here. We would swap NFTs between the three of us because we know each other, right? Well, if you had this small group of people who all had the Thor hammer like you have for your Discord, you know those people in there, and that's going to instantly raise that level of trust.
100%. It actually makes me think of another. Have you guys seen the Posers NFTs?
I've seen them on Twitter, yeah.
So they just implemented a protocol. I'm gonna see if I can find it so I can link it to you so you can see it. So they're doing a swap tool. They're adding different collections to their site, and it's a swap tool, so you can essentially just swap NFTs, and not just the same NFTs to the same NFT, which they had from the start, but to other NFTs that are within the protocol. Obviously, being able to, there's a lot of nuances that'll come into play with that, but the idea of it's kind of cool. You're allowing the ability to just and not know the person on the other end. Us here, it's easy because we know each other. That's great. Yeah, I'll send you this, you send me that. But there's a lot of times where you don't know the other person on the other end. You need some sort of verification and trust network, and they're adding some stuff in there, which is kind of cool.
You know what I want to see as a feature that's missing in here is you have these instances. Like there was somebody recently that just traded their way up to like a town of the Marquise or something in Mirandus, right?
Oh yeah.
So let's say you have a town of the Marquise, and let's say whatever, and I have
Marquise. It's multiples.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Nate.
All the
You're building back a little bit of the butt hurt. I like it. So I have an elf. I can't go to you and say, I'll give you my elf, 2 of these other exemplars, and 0.2 ETH as a package for that. I would like to see the ability to bundle a trade together and have that facilitated at these marketplaces.
Yeah.
I think that would stimulate a ton of new transactions, because otherwise it's just this 1-to-1. I'll give you 14 ETH. No, fuck you. I need 17. Okay, 14.2. And you just go back and forth. It's like fucking stupid. Here, take this NFT. I'll trade you these 2 plus 2 ETH. Deal done. Whammo bammo. You're all done.
And the trust factor is a big one, and being able to somehow have a third party implement that trust factor. I mean, I just did a deal today that was, through Discord, but I didn't know the person personally, but I knew somebody that knew him, and so I was able, the trust was there, so we had that. But being able to have that where you can't verify that through somebody else, but have some sort of third party to be able to trust that at some point in time is big, I think. And it's there, it's needed. So I've done so many, but there's a trust factor, and people, they start to know me now, so they can trust me.
Right.
In just my name and what's out there, and so they know that they can send it to me first, and then I'll send them the whatever it is.
That's big. Yeah, Las Vegas Lance was saying it was Zeta that traded up to get the Town of the Duke.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. He was trading some spider tank stuff. He came to me too. I was like, I don't know. I got a lot of spider tanks. A lot of spider tanks, man. So.
Got to get those pods, man. Get those pods and get those tanks rolling.
Stop it. We don't want to get into it because there's a lot to not talk about.
I got to poke the bear with you as well as Faz on occasion.
Oh, man.
All right, so I don't think we have enough time to get into our heavy hitters that we wanted to talk about. We should probably throw some open mic out, let people either come on the show or throw some topics out they want our horrible opinions on. Because we're very divisive here on how we approach all of these topics. Nate seems to be the middle ground for most of it, and Faz and I are usually polar opposites.
This is a fact, but that's the nature of who I am anyway. I'm more like kind of like
there you go. Let's put Nate in the middle.
What happened?
I put you in the middle here. Now you're.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
We can get rid of. Okay, now. Titan here is providing the entertainment for the cast tonight.
Just turn your back the next time and do it.
Yeah.
No.
Nope. He doesn't want that one on the internet. That one will never go away.
Right.
Any topics? What are people saying?
Yeah, well, Las Vegas Lance said the same thing. That's a lot not to go into.
Uh-huh.
Is it getting any better, do you think? Is anybody out there listening and actually trying to help get something accomplished, or is it still just everybody standing around bitching and nothing getting accomplished?
I haven't seen any changes on anything. I mean, personally, from my end, looking at what's going on, again, it's just the year show me, so I'm just kind of sitting back and waiting to see. So,
yeah,
I think you guys are doing
last show of the month. Yeah, okay. Last show of the month we do a gala. What has Gala shown me? Because they've got the roadmap they put out, which is fluid, of course. Month? So we're gonna.
Every month?
We're going to have to, because that's the way they laid it out. They laid it out quarterly, so we're going to keep progress checks, and I took screenshots so that because they made the document fluid, so it's easily changeable, which is fine. They can change the goals. However, at the end of every month, I know Bitbender seemed a little bit butthurt that we weren't giving them enough love for all the work they were doing. So I thought the last show of every month, let's honor Gala with what they've accomplished. And the quarterly ones, of course, will be the big ones. So March, June, September, and December. But they're what they put out in that document, we definitely want to hold them accountable to. And if they do, I want to celebrate with them. This isn't about the gotcha. And I know you think it is, but it's not.
Wait a minute. So the way that you ended that was, and when they do, so just that word, do, there's a lot of weight to that. You have to consider all the things that they had done, or just one of the things that they had done. What's your metric here?
That's the whole point. They've laid out what they want to accomplish each quarter. So that's where we go in and we give monthly progress reports and then end of the quarter report on what they've done or not done. So that will help the community understand what we're about, what Gala's about, and let's see if they show us, because I want to celebrate what they show us. Because they've come into 2023 self-proclaimed they're a new gala. They are going to do. And we've come up with the mantra here that it's time to show me. Enough talk. We've heard talk for years. Let's see it happening. So I'm super excited. They're committed to it. And for the first time in a long time, I believe in something they say. They seem genuinely committed to getting this stuff done. So let's celebrate it with them. Real simple.
Yeah, and I agree that the too much with trying to talk about it all the time is it becomes just a bitch and moan session, because it does take time to put stuff out there and show stuff of what's going on, and give it time and go through it on a monthly basis or quarterly basis is great.
Well, we want to stay involved in it, so we want to stay abreast of what's going on. So that's why I thought monthly, but quarterly is really, they've set the standards themselves with the quarterly goals that they have. Now we did roast them a little bit, because as the year went on, it got like way less specific, right? It started out with, we're going to launch the play test of The Walking Dead first quarter. By November, they're like, launch more games. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, so
more games.
Yeah. So it, again, the specificity isn't there. More games. Does that mean launch a beta? Does that mean launch an alpha? Does that mean launch a play test? Does that mean launch a sale for a future launch? I mean, who the hell knows? But we want to document the show me, because people can stop bitching if they actually do something, and I'll stop bitching if they actually do something. Real simple. I want to love them. I do. I want to love them. They've made me a lot of money. They've given me entertainment. They've put out some decent games. They're not great games, but they're decent games.
They've given you reasons to bitch, definitely.
Yeah, they have.
What kind of game? What kind of games do you like, Titan?
I like, my favorite kind of game is the Town Star-ish. I love the Sim City. I'm a builder guy. I love that. Town Star, if they improve it, I might play it more. But it gets boring real quick. So if they brought out like a SimCity-ish, I'm looking forward to the Voxverse from what they've hyped that up to be. I might be interested in that. Miranda's, definitely. That's kind of like a builder as well. I've gotten into some of the adventure sides. I am horrible at shooters. I'm pretty good at sports games. So that football game they have, I'll definitely be excited about that.
Nice. Yeah, we got Family Man. We're going to work with him and get a whole Voxverse information, medium, Git book, the whole deal.
Hey, how's he doing anyway?
Family Man is Family Man. He's just hanging out with his family.
I have not seen him or talked to him in a very long time. I still have, he let me borrow a weapon for Spider Tanks the one night we were playing online, and he exited the Gala ecosystem there, and I have not seen hide nor hair of him since.
Well, he didn't exit. He was kind of booted. So, yeah.
Yeah, I heard rumors of both. So I didn't want to.
100% kicked. Benefactor didn't like what he said, so he got kicked. Unfortunately, because he was a great person, great voice.
He is. There is no doubt.
And he's a really, person-wise, he's he has. Sorry. He's a super nice person, and just has the greater good in mind. So to kick somebody like that off of a platform, and I understand, Eric got hurt by what he said, which I read it through, and I can understand where Eric came from as well. But I think there's other ways to handle it rather than kick him off the platform. So somebody like Family Man definitely didn't deserve that. So
yeah, okay.
But yeah, he's around. I just he's definitely a lot busier than he was in the past. So.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. Pass on a big hi from me, and tell him get a hold of me on Discord somehow so I can get his wallet address back. So I didn't want to just send it to that same wallet in case there was something wrong with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
So yeah, tell him get a hold of me so I can get him his weapon back.
Will do.
All right, so we looks like we got all the comments there. We want to wrap this thing up.
Sounds good. I'm out of talk tonight. That's a first, I know.
Yeah, I just let you go with it tonight.
Well, we missed Friday because of our problems, and so I did have a lot built up to talk about.
Just let the ideas fly. That's just
Well, listen, we've been doing this. This spring will be 2 years, right?
nice.
And I think we have missed quite literally two. That's the second show I think we missed in 2 years. I hate missing shows. I'm dead serious. Thursday and Fridays, I look forward to that all freaking week long.
Well, you've missed one or two because I've had to do a couple interviews
no,
on my own.
Right. No, I'm saying the actual show itself not airing.
Yeah.
Was like twice. We had one where I was sick and you were out of town. We missed one. And then we were both not feeling good last week.
All right. So let's wrap this one up. We got a few more comments. What happened? Faz show is always
Bye.
good.
Thanks, Zorro.
Thank you, Zorro.
We've appreciated everything about what you bring to not only the Gala ecosystem, but to the comments here, your comments in CFA, your comments on Gala. Another fantastic community member. Zorro has the way to go when it comes to gaming.
All right.
He's a little too Gala for me at times, but that's okay. I still like him.
It's in his name.
In his name.
All right.
I know, right?
I'm gonna start up our ending part here. Oh, that's the background. I need to do the foreground. Where's the foreground at? Right here. There we go. It's our Faz Pulse, and then
See you
here's our outro. Wait, Titan. We have our pre-recorded outro to do. Can you say your thing so that people will know?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, subscribe, and throw some comments below. That helps us, which in turn helps us provide you with much, much better content every week. Thanks for being a listener. Thanks for supporting the channel.
And thanks for sitting through our pre-recorded outro.